Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Mimi Meets.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, so actually, before we start things off, I just want to ask you like a movie mad question. I love to ask this. So,
Okay.
what's the first film that made you fall in love with cinema?
Ooh, the first film that made me fall in love with, it might have been when I was a little kid, I saw Ben-Hur.
Hmm.
That one, yeah, that with all the stunts in it and the action and the
Of course.
acting, it's fantastic.
Hmm.
I think that's what really caught my attention. It's probably the first film that really caught my attention. Yeah.
Oh wow. So, how did you begin your journey into the film industry? You trained in martial arts, I
hmm
read.
hmm Yeah. I trained in martial arts. And originally, I didn't come out to move to California to get into film. It was kind of something I had thought about, maybe I would look into. But the main reason I came was to learn martial arts under Dan
Mhm.
Inosanto, who's Bruce Lee's protege.
Oh.
So, in the course of doing that, I it that idea of maybe I could try to get into films as a stunt performer one day started to get reinforced because I met some other guys that were had the same goal, and we've all had like long careers in the film industry, so all of us it's worked out for us really well. But that was really how. And then I took acting classes for about 6 years in Los Angeles, whenever I could, whenever I wasn't working, and so that was kind of how it started.
Oh wow. Well, I can I just tell you the first time I saw you was Ghosts of Mars.
Oh my gosh.
I was a kid, so I was about 9 when I watched
Uh-huh.
it. Don't judge me. I was 9 when I watched it, but I loved that movie and I thought you were like the best thing in it because I was like so scared by you and but yes, so fascinated by this creature, this Big Daddy Mars. I was absolutely like literally I was obsessed with Big Daddy Mars. If you can ask anyone in my family, they were like, "Oh my god, this girl has this weird obsession with this film." But yeah, that's when I first actually noticed you, like
Oh, okay.
all those years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm flattered. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did honestly. I was like, oh my god, this thing, this being, and then, but but then, so how was it like working with John Carpenter at that time? Because he was like
Oh,
huge.
yeah, he's a legend. Yeah. Yeah, I mean the guy's a legend in the horror genre. So just to get a chance to meet him and work with him was amazing. When I auditioned for the role, there was actually some big names up for that role. Dennis Rodman wanted to do it.
Oh wow.
Lawrence Taylor, who was a Hall of Fame linebacker for the Giants, wanted to
Mhm.
do it. And when I got the audition, I went to his house
Oh.
actually. So I got to meet him at his house, and then we just sat down and talked. And he just asked my opinion about some things and how I would do this or that, and just got to know me a little bit. Asked about my family, and that was it. That was my audition. That's all I
That's
had to
so
do.
cool. Like
Yeah,
going to his house. I mean, I'm intrigued by this meeting because of the house. This movie is so cool because like it's like dystopian, has so many like big names actually. Pam Grier, Jason
yeah,
Statham, Ice Cube. Oh my God.
yeah. Yeah, I really wanted to meet Pam Grier because I always liked her movies when I was a kid. And
Mhm.
I briefly met her. She had already finished when I got there. She had already finished shooting, so she was on her last day. So I just got to meet her briefly, but I didn't really get to know her or anything. But yeah, that was really cool. And Ice Cube was cool. Meeting him, working with him, he was a pretty cool guy. And
Mhm.
Jason, that was one of Jason's first U.S. films.
Yeah.
And, yeah, yeah. Then he just blew up after that.
I know exactly. So how does it work? Like when you get a role, like when in terms of like doing stunts, like how do you prepare the stunts for your roles?
Well, the stunts are prepared by the stunt coordinator,
Hmm.
right? So he's the one, he does all the hiring,
Yeah.
and whenever I'm doing an acting role, then that's more like the director or casting director. But for stunts,
Hmm.
the stunt coordinator does the hiring and he sets up all the stunts. And quite often, though, especially if you have experience, they'll get your input and they'll ask for like a group effort to put things
Yeah.
together. So they're quite often I do have a lot of input into, what type of things I'm doing in the stunts and things like that. Um, but it's mainly like his responsibility. And then the director, not all the time, but a lot of the time, like Zack Snyder is always involved in that. Like he wants
Mm.
to know, he wants to see exactly what we're doing, so he'll come out when we have something prepared, he'll come out and he'll look it over, and then he'll make some changes, or he'll say, oh, it looks great the way it is. And so he's very hands-on in all the action. Some directors are and some directors aren't. But yeah, a lot of that it weighs on the stunt coordinator. It's his responsibility to put all that together and to make sure it goes smoothly.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I'm just looking at like Batman versus Superman. Like I think you guys are like modern day superheroes, like in real life, because you're doing all these things that normal people can't do. Like, how is it working with like Ben Affleck, like doing his stunts?
Ben was great because like sometimes actors want to do their own stunts,
Mhm.
and we understand that. Like in 300, we trained the actors so well that they did most of their fighting. They did mostly all of it.
Oh wow.
But and then some actors are like, well, hey, I do the acting and you do the stunts. So, you do, what you do.
Yeah.
And with Ben, it was like he kind of like left it up to me. Like, of
Mm.
course, there were certain mannerisms and things that I would try to mimic. But
Yeah.
when it came to the action, he was all up for me doing it the way I wanted to do it. And then if he would step in and have to do a take like a close up or something like that, then he would mimic what I did. So he was very, very accommodating with that, because in the end it's his character in the end, right? I'm there to support him and make him look the best that I can make him look.
Mm.
So he had a really great attitude about it, and he understood that that's my thing. He does his thing, I do my thing, and he was very supportive. It was a really anytime I've worked with him, we had a really good relationship.
Yeah, you've worked with him many times actually. Was it
Mhm.
The Accountant, Triple
Yeah,
Frontier?
Triple Frontier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Suicide Squad.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you seriously like you have to be in sync with the person. Like, yeah, you're right with the movements because
yeah.
you can like yeah, it's so like swiftly done. Like you can tell. Like I can't like I'm trying to find okay. Well, I know you did the stunts, but so that's where I know. But like you can't tell that's not Ben Affleck. Like you literally like it's so smooth, and that's so important and vital in the film because when you're dealing with like such action based films you need that, and actually you can't do just can't rely on like CGI or anything like that. It has to be like a person doing this. So I
Right.
really like really have so much appreciation for what you guys do.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Thank you.
yeah, no, honestly, and speaking of actually Zack Snyder, like you've worked with him so many times.
Dawn of the Dead. Yeah,
So
his
that's
first
2004.
film. Yeah, so we were talking about this on Rebel Moon actually. I've done every one of his live action movies.
Oh
I
wow.
think I'm the only person who's done that, or maybe Damon Caro as well, I
Mm.
think. But the only one I didn't do was the animated hours ago, or
Hmm.
movie. That's the only one I didn't work on.
Oh, okay. So you must have this really beautiful working relationship with him because like now you probably just know everything, like what he needs. You don't even have to ask, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I have a good idea. Yeah,
Mhm.
if I'm doing a role
Yeah.
with him, like like I did in Army of the Dead, or like in
Mhm.
Justice League, I doubled Ben, but I also was Steppenwolf in Justice League, so I did all the movement and action for Steppenwolf in the movie. So if I'm doing something like that with Zach, we always meet before the movie starts, and we meet for an hour or two and just discuss everything that has to do with the character and everything, because I want to know exactly what he's thinking. I want to be on the same page with him. And you're
Yeah.
right, though. A lot of it is I know, because I've worked with him so much for so long, that I do. There's a lot of things I do know, and I do know how he works, and so it has been a really great relationship. I've been super fortunate to be in the position that I am, because he's by far my favorite director to work for, and it's not even because he's hired me in all his movies. It's because of who he is and how he works.
Mm.
He just gets it. Like, he loves the process of filmmaking, and
Yeah.
it's an enjoyable experience on his set. Some directors, it's like you're walking on eggshells, but
Yeah.
he just has a great attitude, and he gets it. He understands, and he just enjoys everything.
Because I think at the end of the day, he's a fan as well of the movies. So I think that's what helps. Like he's
for
actually,
sure.
yeah, hands-on. Like Army of the Dead, he was actually the cinematographer as well. So
Yes,
he really like gets in there.
he does. Yeah, yeah. He did a lot of the camera work
Mm.
for Army. Yeah,
That
yeah.
is like I loved. I have to tell you, I loved Zeus in Army of the Dead because I mean, like, didn't like that sort of emotion you bring to the character? Like, it's just, it was. I loved it. It was so raw
Oh,
because,
thank you.
like, in the beginning when you see like that scene, oh, you're overlooking the strip
Hmm.
in Las Vegas, and then you, I think your entrance is like by far the most haunting entrance when you see him walking in, and the drapes are like flowing, and the
Yeah.
Alpha Queen is there, and seriously, like I think I was like rooting for the zombies in this film.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because
So
we were the good guys when you think about it. Like we weren't bothering anybody.
exactly. It was what Martin's fault. It was
Right.
Martin's fault. He killed the Alpha Queen. He wasn't doing anything. He said, "You guys, okay, yeah, it's fine. I'll leave you guys to roam around the outskirts. It's okay." But the pact broke because of Martin. So I
That's
think, yeah, they were actually the bad guys.
Yeah, that's right. I let Garrett know about that too. I told him this is all your fault, bud.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was his fault because,
He's
yeah,
a
no,
great guy, by the way, too. Super nice guy.
yeah.
Super great.
I mean, I love that ensemble cast actually. It's like so many like different types of people. And you have like actually even Huma, like she's like a really great actress in India. And so it must have been really cool working with like different people from different backgrounds.
It was great. It was really enjoyable. Zach is really good at that, putting a cast together that just perfectly fits the character that they're portraying, and they also just everybody just gets along and just it's just a cohesive unit with him. He just knows he has a knack for it. He's really good at putting people together.
He is like, and so when it comes to like working on like Army of the Dead, like how did you get into like the headspace of Zeus?
I just looked deep into the character, and I thought that this was an experiment gone wrong,
Hmm.
right? Created him,
Hmm.
but he's not all animal. He's not all
No.
like, and I didn't even look at him as a zombie when I was playing him. Really, I looked at him as somebody who creates zombies, but I looked at him as something that he's very animalistic because this experiment didn't work out the way the military thought it would. But he still has humanity in him, and
Yeah.
then every now and then you'll see it come out in the course of the film, like and usually like really situations that are very tense and emotional. You'll see his humanity start to creep out a little bit, and I wanted to show that because I felt like he still has that in there and it's fighting to come out, but he's just so animalistic because of the stuff that's been done to him. But he still has it there. So it was real important for me to convey that.
And you did. Like I remember that scene like when he loses the baby. Oh
Mhm.
my God. Like when he brings her back, he brings his queen back and then he's like, "Let me check on the baby," and the baby dies.
Yeah.
Seriously, I felt it. Like I felt it here. Like I'm not lying. It was so like it was so emotional. Yeah. It was almost like a human type emotion like you felt. Like and I didn't treat them like zombies either. Like they actually genuinely like you felt like they're quite sophisticated actually, like the way their movements are. They have a society, like a sense of society.
Absolutely. And I'm really glad that the character was written like that too, because if it was just a pure zombie, because you have to be true to the character, right? You can't just make a choice based on what you think is the coolest or something like that. It has to
Yeah.
be true to the story and true to the character. So I was really grateful that that's how he was created. And when the audience doesn't know this at the time, they're watching the film, but I know it. So I have to be true to what I believe the character is. And if he'd have just been written as a normal zombie, like somebody that died and then there's a virus or something that creates zombies all over the world, then I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I think the character would have been so one-dimensional, you
Mm.
know. Um, but so because he was created the way he was, it really gave me the opportunity to expand on that a little bit and make the character more interesting and you know I feel, just all around better than if he was just an animal.
Yeah, no, it was definitely like this, kind of like the Rings of Power. Like basically the Uruks are quite like more like sophisticated this time around, like as opposed to like the previous movies. And it was kind of like, yeah, I was talking to somebody from there as well, and they were mentioning, yeah, like it's kind of like you're not trying to make them like savages. They have their own mind. They can kind of like have their own like emotions. In a way, they have a heart. So,
Right. Right. Okay,
and
I need to check that out. Is that
on
Netflix or
Amazon.
Amazon? Amazon?
Amazon Prime. That's what I genuinely loved about Army of the Dead as well. Like because of the like you see like all the creatures that aren't actually like I'm thinking, yeah, okay, well they must yeah, they did infect everyone, they kind of ruined the city, but still, like I think now, right now, they're not harming anyone. They're in their little space, in their little
Yeah.
bubble, and then
Right.
and people are actually going in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. We're not, as far as I know, we weren't trying to escape. We're just kind of happy. We had our little civilization there, and we were just,
Yeah,
just
wandered around the
alive.
Luxor, Mandalay Bay, walking around, just having fun, having fun at the Olympus. But
Sure.
I can't tell you enough, like how overjoyed I was when it actually won. Like I think it won the fan favorite Oscar or something last year.
That's what I heard. I didn't watch the Oscars last year, but I heard that, yeah, that they had some clips
That's so
of
cool.
our films they showed, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's quite an honor.
Did you watch the Oscars this time?
I didn't. No,
Mm.
no, I didn't watch it. I haven't really been watching it lately. It's just if I'm around and I'm not doing anything, I'll sit down and watch it. But I
Yeah.
don't take the time to, it's, I don't mind just watching the highlights of it.
All right. Yeah.
Just seeing who won the big awards, and then I check the makeup ones too, because a lot of times I know the people that win those,
Oh
or
wow.
the best costume. But yeah, it's usually interesting, but I just don't want to sit down and watch it for 3 hours or
Mm.
whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
More
quite
interesting,
long. Sure.
yeah. It'll be more interesting once they put stunts in there. Then it'll catch my interest more.
That's so true. Yeah, they don't have an award for that. That's yeah. You literally okay. Let's write to the Academy right now.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
should. Yeah,
they
because
should.
it's important. They
It's
have.
been talked about for years, but for some reason, and we're the only major part of making filmmaking that isn't in there.
Yeah.
Everything else is, except for stunt. And there's some films, quite a few, that were a major part of the film. Like
Mm.
Fury Road was nominated for Best Picture a few years ago, and like
Yeah.
if you take the stunts out of that, you have what, 45-minute movie, maybe a half hour. It's
That's
mostly
it.
stunts.
And
You know,
Top Gun. Top Gun was nominated this year.
yeah, and look at all the stunts in that film. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's so
it's
true.
it
It's a
needs to
shame.
change.
It's a
Yeah.
shame. Like that should definitely be like it's so worthy of an award. It's so important. Like I can't tell you like how much like it's like no one actually yeah like they should do it. Actually, that's such a good idea. I think we should kind of like start this kind of do something like start a petition that
Right.
let's add that to the academy, please.
You know what I think it is? I think it's not quite as much modern day, but it still kind of is there. But the studios, for the longest time, they would not even acknowledge stunt performers because they wanted the audience to feel like, the actor does everything, because they felt like, oh, it would take them out of the experience, or it would hurt the actor's popularity. And, at that time, they were signing actors to, like, 5, 6 picture agreements, so
Yeah,
it was very important that that actor stayed famous in the public eye, and legitimate, so I know that's why it never was in the beginning. But now, modern day people, like almost everybody knows that, aside from Tom Cruise, who does a lot of his stuff.
yeah,
He doesn't do everything, but he does a lot of the very dangerous stuff. They
yeah,
know that, there's a stunt performer doing this. So it's kind of weird. But the studios, I have a feeling, it's a lot of it has to do with that the studios, they still want to kind of keep it, that aura of the actor is this is the actor. Anytime you see that the actor doing something,
yeah,
the character, it's always the actor.
yeah.
You know. I kind of get it, but kind of like, yeah, I think at some point you're like, you're insulting the audience. This is intelligence because they know,
Yeah, they have like CGI VFX awards, so people know about like special effects.
right?
Like they have like VFX like that happen in film, so they should. Yeah, people know these things.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like they have stand-ins as well. They have so many like different parts of the film making business. It's like so many people involved.
right.
Hundreds, maybe thousands of people are involved in these films. Like speaking of stunts, like your scenes in Batman versus Superman, you're fighting with Henry Cavill in the warehouse in Gotham.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
How was that for you? Like,
Oh, that was amazing. That whole project was my dream job
yeah.
because I wanted to play that character since I was 5 years old. Like I
Mm,
wanted to be that character,
yeah.
And ever since I got into stunts, that's the job I wanted. I always wanted that. And then I started getting older, and I'm like, it's probably not going to happen, And then, I had the opportunity. Suddenly, I had the opportunity to do it, and it was pretty cool because my a very good friend of mine was the stunt coordinator of that film, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, I want you to audition,"
Mm,
because he's a guy that's like he's very high character person, and he's going to do things the right way. And it's like because I'm one of his best friends, he's not going to just hand me the job.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, I want you to to audition for this. So they got a bunch of guys to audition. So I did one audition, then I did a second audition,
Hmm.
and then contacted me. He goes, "Hey man, you got it.
Oh wow.
You blew everybody away. So you're the guy." So I was super happy. That whole job was amazing. I just
Yeah,
considered
becoming
myself,
Batman.
oh my gosh, yeah, it is literally a dream come true. So I loved it. And the suit was, it was a big latex suit, so it could be uncomfortable and very hot,
Yeah.
but I didn't care. I was in the bat suit. I was happy. I never once got disgusted or discouraged that I
Mm,
have to wear this heavy, 40-pound suit that's uncomfortable and hot. I loved it because it was Batman. So
mm.
that was definitely my favorite job I've ever had.
Oh wow. Like you did the first, is it like am I right in saying that you did the first look test as well? Like you had the suit on when they tested out the suit?
Mhm.
Was that you the first time when they tried it
Yeah,
out?
yeah. The pictures with the Batmobile that Zach was taking. The,
Yeah.
the first, some of those that are out in public are me, and then some of them are Ben.
Oh wow.
Because when Ben came out, then they did another one with Ben
Yeah.
when he came out. Because I was out there probably a good month before he got out there because we got out there early to rehearse.
Mm.
So Zach took the time then to pop me in the suit and then take some pictures and stuff. So yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, it must be amazing. And yeah, speaking of like it is pretty uncomfortable, but yeah, you don't care if it's something you love.
No, I don't care. No. Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
bother me at all. I loved it. Yeah.
So when you're working on a film, like is there like a strict diet you have to follow, like to make sure you kind of have to like uh, don't
Well, with
wait or
me,
anything?
see, with me, like some people go to the gym and then say they work out all the time, and then if they stop working out, they gain weight,
Yeah.
right? They start putting pounds on. I'm the opposite. I have a different body type. I'm 6'3", about 200 pounds, right?
Okay.
So if I work out 4 or 5 times a week, and if I stop, I don't gain weight. I shrink.
Oh,
I get
oh
smaller.
wow.
I lose muscle mass,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So with me, I don't quite have that problem exactly, but for Batman versus Superman, I kind of wanted to stay a little lighter than normal so I can move quicker in the suit because the suit's very restrictive.
Mm.
So I didn't want to be bulked up and too heavy. I wanted to be a little lighter, so I can move faster. But some movies I got to get bigger. I got to gain weight and get bigger. So those movies I have to really pay strict attention to my diet and what I'm doing because I need to look a certain way. But for like Batman versus Superman being in the suit, it didn't really matter. It was just about me staying lean.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh wow. And even like in Army of the Dead, I heard like was it Justin Raleigh who kind of like put the silicone suit on you and he was like you had to have like a cooling vest like every now and again just to cool down because it was so hot.
Yeah, actually, I couldn't use a cooling vest on
Oh
that
wow.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, because the cooling vest goes under your wardrobe, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's close to your skin as possible, and then they hook it into a machine,
Oh, okay.
and it sends cool water and it circulates the cool water through the vest, and that's what cools you down. But on Army, I couldn't do that because I had silicone attached to my
Yeah.
whole upper half, so I just had to deal with it. Maybe a fan or something like that. But
Oh, wow. That
yeah,
must
that was
be really uncomfortable.
yeah, that was a mindset, really. You have to be in the proper mindset. You have to know what you're getting into. And I've done many prosthetic films,
Yeah,
and I've done many. And the thing, about the bat suit, I've done many films in big rubber suits. I logged
exactly. Yeah.
hundreds of hours in those things, so I knew exactly what to expect. And that's kind of the advantage to having someone do that has a little bit of history with that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was tough. It was hot. It got really hot. We were in Albuquerque, and it was days it was in the
Yeah.
high 90s, hundreds, and man, you just you're just sweating so much under it. And I don't sweat much normally, but under all that silicone, yeah, you're sweating a lot.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, that must have been like I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, like all these things. Because I would feel I like obviously I haven't had this experience, but you obviously are used to it. But like I'm just thinking, yeah, like I would feel so claustrophobic with all these things and all this like stuff attached to me. And
Yeah.
yeah, so kudos to that, like what you do there, because
Well, thank
just
you.
having that on is like with so much effort. Am I right in saying like Army of the Dead, was it also shot in Atlantic City? Was it
Yes,
as
we
well?
did about a month in Atlantic City. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like
Yeah.
kind of you get the casino vibes there as well.
We did. Yeah, we got the casino vibes for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, it was interesting. They put us up. The casino that we shot in was the same place that they put us up in, and the casino part wasn't even open. That's why it was perfect for us. And it was
Oh,
kind of run down, and it was kind of like on its last leg. So they had rooms still available, but nothing going on in the casino part. So it was perfect for our situation.
yeah, it was perfect for the film, like because it's meant to be run down. It's meant to be like literally on its last legs.
Right.
But yeah, I love these sort of weird films. So I was so excited to talk to you. All this like history you've had like in working in the movies. So is there certain like favorite part of the filmmaking business for you? Like, is it stunts? Is it acting? What's your biggest love?
uh, I think I think it would be a combination of both. It's having a character that I can mold and create like
Mhm.
what I want. You know what I mean? And with whoever it is, Zach or whatever the director is, of course, with their blessing or approval of how they want it to. It has to stay within their vision, of course. But I like creating characters. Um, I like performing. That aspect is my favorite. I like putting a character together and then performing it, and then within the performance finding little things that can add to that performance. Like I had an acting teacher who said, put many colors in your palette, like always add colors.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for things, just little things. And sometimes it's just a little tug of the uniform. Like, I did something like that in Sucker Punch when I was a German colonel. Got up from my desk and just a little tug of just little stuff like that. It's not a big deal, but when you add them all together, it makes the character so much more interesting. You
Mm.
know, so I think creating and performing the characters themselves is definitely my favorite part.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's really enjoyable. And I got to a point in my career where I was getting older, and I thought, the smart move is to take this path and get behind the camera now more. Because I do fight choreography sometimes. I'll be hired to do that sometimes. Um, and I thought maybe I need to start coordinating, because body can only take so much punishment. Um, but I always go, I take this way. And I go, I want to perform. I love performing. I have a chance to do fight choreography. Oh, but Batman pops up. Oh, I want to be Batman. You know, I have a chance to do maybe coordinate something, but oh no, I have a chance to be Zeus in Zack's movie. I'm going to do that. I always take the performing road, because that's what I love.
Yeah.
The other stuff would be easier physically on me. Would be still a tough job, but easier physically.
Yeah.
But I love performing, so I'm just going to do that until the wheels fall off, I guess.
I hope you do, actually. I hope you do, because I genuinely like. I hope there's more like of these sort of films. I hope there's an Army of the Dead sequel. I'm putting it out there. I hope there is, because there's so much you could do with that.
Yeah, there might be. There might be something in the works for
I
that.
hope
Yeah,
so. I hope
yeah.
so, because yeah, no, because at the end, you never know. Vanderho, he could be Alpha. He
You
could
never
be.
know. Yeah, you
And
never know.
and they don't ever show what Zeus did with Lily, because
Oh yeah.
Lily at the end, like I just looked at that again. I watched that bit again, and they don't show her actually physically die. Like they literally, she's stuck on that like that railing, but like still, they don't show whether she dies or not. So maybe he's like turned her before. You never know. She could be like the
Oh,
queen.
you never know.
I'm just putting ideas in your head so you can tell Zach this, please.
Yeah, yeah. Zach's always 5 steps ahead of me, though. He probably already thought of
Oh yeah,
it.
probably, yeah, probably,
Yeah.
because I would genuinely love to see like an Army of the Dead sequel, because I think there's so much you can explore like with it, because yeah, no, I as I said, like there's so many things you could do, like they can come back, you never know. There's,
Right.
because I know Zeus does die at the end, but still, like he can come back, he can come back.
Hey, you never know, right?
I know, and yeah, and not everyone's dead, so you never know. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put it out there, Zach, please, please.
Like you said, Vanderho got bit, and they clearly showed that. So we'll have to see what happens.
Exactly, there was a reason they showed that at the end, and that scene was so scary. Do you know when they're about to like when he gets shut into the vault by Dieter,
Mhm.
and you're there and you're literally like kind of like about to kill Vanderho. Oh my God, that was so frightening. Genuinely, I was so frightened by that scene when you walk in that vault.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a cool scene. That was fun. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
I did like that. Sort of, you had this brooding presence, and like it's like, oh, you almost like, yeah. And I actually had to. I have to tell you, this is really funny. My mom like was she walked in when I was watching the scene, and she was like, oh my God, she was genuinely terrified.
Oh wow.
He was genuinely terrified. She was like, "Who?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna talk to Richard in a few weeks. This is like a couple of weeks ago." And she was like, "No way." She was like, "You're talking to this guy? Oh my God!" She was genuinely like frightened by it.
Oh, that's cool.
She was like,
Oh, that's
"Wow." That, and then I showed her what you really look like, and she was like, "Oh, okay." So she wasn't then she was less scared than when she saw
oh,
you.
that's good. I'm glad she wasn't more scared. That's good.
No, 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 she wasn't. She was less scared, so it was okay.
Okay.
But no, honestly, this is why I love like talking to people who are so passionate about their job. And what you exactly like summed up so perfectly. If you love it, you should do it. Like it doesn't matter if it's going to be more physically hard on you. You love it, and that's why I genuinely love talking to passionate people like you.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So on a final note, what does the future hold for you?
I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of relaxing.
Mhm.
Just taking it easy. I've worked on a couple things right at the end of last year, something earlier in the year, and yeah, just taking some time off now and just hanging out with the family,
Oh,
enjoying all this rain. Crazy for California, all the rain we've gotten.
yeah, it's so weird. It's like really yeah, the skies are kind of dull there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's been cold too. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been very different for this time of year. But yeah, just nothing really planned coming up. I'm just kind of going to see what comes my way and just like I said, enjoy time with the family until then. That's all.
Oh, cool. Well, that sounds great, because like even here, like it's meant to be like spring, but it's so cold. There's a storm here as well. So I have some family in LA, and they were like, the weather's been really weird. Like apparently, yeah, they're all saying, yeah, it's freezing as well. Like the
Yeah,
temperature, their pipes
yeah.
froze. Like someone from my family, their pipes froze in their house.
I,
So,
I believe it. Yeah, near Pasadena, which is kind of north of me.
yeah,
They had snow one day, and it was actually laying on the ground.
it's so weird.
Yeah,
I've
that
never
just
heard of
never
like
happens.
it snowing there.
Yeah, yeah, it's insane. It never happens here. I know we've had snow in Malibu before, but it was just flurries. It never like laid. It just came down
Oh,
and melted, but it was actually laying on the ground. So that was a
that's
first for me.
that is weird. But you grew up in Pittsburgh, right? So you must have seen like the cold weather.
Oh yeah, yeah. I grew up with snowy Christmases, right?
Oh, that's the best.
That's the best, exactly. And when I first moved out here, it was so hard to get used to Christmas. I mean, there were days on Christmas when it was like 80 degrees, 85. I'm like,
It's
this is
weird.
this doesn't make sense. This shouldn't happen, right? So
No.
it's and I've gotten used to it, but I miss the snow for Christmas. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think that's weird. Like I remember my brother went to LA during Christmas and he was like, this is so the strangest experience because it's not cold and everyone's like wandering around shorts during Christmas time.
Right. Yeah.
So it's kind of like it feels really odd to us, like to me, like in London, it's always cold, like during December especially. So yeah, no,
Mhm.
Christmas I think is best when it's cold though. Like but I do genuinely love like the hot weather. So hopefully, yeah, I get to see some sunshine soon because it's freezing right now. I was just about to say, your home team, your football team.
Mhm.
Basically, my cousin is from Ohio, but she actually like grew up near like I think she's on the border of Ohio. She's a Steeler for life, so I
Nice.
just had to tell you that.
Oh, that's great. Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived fairly close to that border, not too far from that border, maybe like an hour,
Oh, okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to her wedding. She lives in LA now, but I remember going to their wedding and they kept talking about terrible towels and I didn't know what that was. And I was like, because they were like, they kept talking about it, and I was like, I was really confused. So I picked up some of the lingo when I was there. So, but yeah, no, I was so confused. But they kind of like, yeah, they were like, they explained it to me that this is what it is, this is what it is.
Right,
But yeah,
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. The famous terrible towel.
it was just really funny, like that kind of like you lost in translation.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because not too many people outside of Pittsburgh, or unless you follow NFL, would really know what the heck is a terrible towel. What makes it terrible?
Yeah, yeah. I was about to say, what is it? Like, why is it so terrible? But thank you so much. This has been so fun, like talking about everything with you.
Oh, you're welcome, Amy. It was a pleasure to be here. Yeah. Anytime you want me to come on, you let me know. I'll be happy to.
Oh, that would be amazing. We could talk more, yeah, as well next time. Yeah, I wish you all the best, and hopefully it does get warmer.
Yeah. It's going to eventually, right?
Yes, yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. And I hope it gets warmer here right now. It's literally like winter right now.
I remember. I spent 10 months in London working on Justice League. So yeah, I
Oh yeah.
remember it rained quite a bit, but I love the city. I really like London a lot. The people are great.
Yeah, it's quite a colorful place actually. Yeah, like and the thing is the seasons are seasons. Like, but so take care and yes, hopefully speak soon.
Yeah.
And tell me
That
whenever
sounds
you're
good.
in London, tell me like I'll we can meet up and if I'm in LA.
Yeah, let me know if you come in to visit. Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll grab some
Cool.
lunch or something.
That would be amazing. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.